Hey everybody, and welcome to today's webinar.
How's it going?
Good.
Here we
Good.
are.
How are you, Rylan?
Doing great.
Good.
Excited to get started.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about how you and your team can fulfill through Task Manager. So you might be wondering, what exactly is Task Manager?
I know I am.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get to that. But first, I thought we should introduce ourselves.
Clicky, click. There we go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Little technical difficulties. Learning how to use the mouse. My name is Amy Jansen, and I'm Product Marketing Manager here at Vendasta. With me today is Rylan Morris, Director of Product Marketing at Vendasta, aka my boss.
I don't like to think of as that way. That's not the relationship we have. We're co-workers,
Right.
Amy, right?
Colleagues,
We're in this
yes.
colleagues. We're in this together.
Yes.
But yes, Director of Product Marketing here. Really exciting new release. Sort of a new release, a reintroduction, if you will. Rebrand. Yes, that's the term we're looking for.
Task Manager. So before we get into that, as we will get into that, it's all very exciting. I want to first talk to you a little bit about what we're going through. So welcome. It's very beautiful here in Saskatoon. As you can see, very, very sunny, albeit a little bit frigid. So it's this morning when I woke up, it was about minus 50 Celsius. That's about minus 51 or 2 in Fahrenheit. So a little bit cold, but we're making it through.
I mean, it's beautiful outside. Beautiful. And for those of you that haven't visited Saskatoon, it's a really beautiful city and this wonderful river that flows through. However, we were the coldest city in the world yesterday. Yeah. In the entire world.
Yeah. Colder than Siberia and Mars, I heard too. Right. So
Yeah. Good news, right? When we all have to flee the planet and move to Mars.
We're used to it. So if you can tell, we have a couple pictures. Here's one with our flag didn't make it through the frigid temperatures, as well as this is our beautiful river, and it is currently warmer than the air outside. So enough about us. How can we help you fulfill through for your clients? So that's, of course, through Task Manager. And here at Vendasta, we, of course, are committed to driving local economies. And we believe that fast, effective fulfillment can help drive those local economies. So before we get started, Concierge is now Task Manager. So for those of you that have worked in Concierge, who are familiar with Concierge, you'll be excited to know that we've now rebranded it as Task Manager.
Yeah, and what's great about this rebrand is that we've had a development team on this for a year and a half now, working steadily at building a couple of great new features, which we're going to go over today. So if you haven't used Concierge in a long time, now's your time to explore it. It's free to use for the majority of our partners. You can jump in, explore, and if you're providing fulfillment services, such as responding to reviews for your customers, doing social posts, Task Manager is the tool that you're going to want to use.
Yeah, it is our fulfillment software. It is absolutely what our partners need to use with their fulfillment teams. So it is the prescriptive way to manage your clients' digital marketing needs. So prescriptive, what prescriptive means is that it automatically pulls in tasks for your team to fulfill on behalf of your clients.
Super unique. Like if you've used a lot of other project management or task management software on the market, not a lot of it is prescriptive, meaning that it doesn't really connect with the work that really does need to get done and notify a fulfillment worker on, hey, this review just came in, you got to respond to it.
That's right. And I always say that a lot of the task management or project management tools on the market, they are only as smart as the person using them. So your fulfillment team would need to input all of those tasks and remember to input them before they can actually start fulfilling. However, our software does that for you.
Huge time saver.
Yeah. So like Rylan said, social posts, responding to reviews. Also, it will prompt you to claim any listing tasks, or if there's a one of your customers' listings that are broken, it will prompt you to go in and fix it. Mentions and Socialize, which we'll get into as well. Now, another really exciting feature, this is fairly new, is our project management. So your team can go in and create these large projects. That might be a social calendar project or a custom project that your team can start to work through from start to finish. That's it might be the beginning of the month. You write out a whole calendar worth of social posts, and then you can see it all the way through.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like we know that our partners are selling packages, so like not necessarily just, hey, we're going to start, Mr. Business Owner, we're going to start responding to reviews for you, we're going to start creating social posts for you, not those individual things. They're selling a complete solution. Here's a digital marketing gold package for you to buy from us, Mr. Business Owner, and it includes XYZ things, a new website, a digital ads campaign, a number of different things that all kind of encompass this project. And the beauty with Task Manager now with the new projects feature is that you can go in, build out that project for that business owner and work from it with your team from start to finish rather than just individual tasks that pop up.
That's right. And I mean, like we've said, custom projects, that's to really help your team fulfill anything that your team needs to do. So that might be a new digital ads campaign or a custom image, but your team can work on that from start to finish. It's really great.
Just going to jump in here really quick, Amy.
Yes.
So we can go to the next slide. But Don, I just want to mention here, Don in the chat here is asking about a copy of this recording. Absolutely. All of our webinars are posted on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Vendasta. So you can definitely check that out after the, we should post it like sometime either later today or tomorrow. But if you subscribe to our channel, you'll get a notification.
Yeah, great. So next we have automated reporting. So this is another really great feature that Task Manager does. So it goes through and it scrapes all of the work that your fulfillment team has done, and it keeps yourself and then your clients in the loop of anything that has been performed as well as anything that's in progress for the end of the month.
Yeah, this is huge. So one of the biggest challenges our partners tell us that they face with fulfillment is showing all the work that they did to that business owner. Hey, you bought this expensive package through us. The business owner may be like, hey, what the hell's going on? I don't exactly know all the work that you're doing for me as my marketing specialist. The task report can be sent out, be pulled at any time, first of all. So the second that someone asks you that question, just pull the report and it's up to the minute. It'll show you exactly all the tasks your teams have been working on, what's in progress, what we're waiting on from the customer, any of the completed tasks, along with the details of that task, any of sort of the account notes that have been left with it, the task notes have been left with it. And in addition to that, it gets sent out automatically every single month too. So you can configure exactly which recipients at the business, what email addresses that gets sent out to. And yeah, it keeps them in the loop with all the great work that your team has been performing.
Yeah, awesome. So next we're going to get into the tasks. So every task that our software will scrape in for your team to prompt them to fulfill with. So prescription comes through two marketplace products. So reputation management and social marketing. A lot of these tasks, there's a few of them that use each, but they need to be activated within the software in order to scrape in these.
Just kind of expand on this. So Vendasta, obviously, we have this great marketplace full of products and services, two of them being reputation and social marketing. And these are the two that connect with Task Manager. And if you do not have these two, either one of these products activated, you won't necessarily see the prescriptive tasks that we're about to go through come through. You can still, obviously, Task Manager is a great project management tool. You can go and create custom tasks for any kind of work that your agency is performing, and that'll all be brought in through that automated task report that we talked about just a second ago. But as far as prescriptive tasks that automatically come in, you either have to have reputation management, social marketing, or both activated for that to work. So Amy's going to go through some of the tasks that work with these two products.
Yeah, absolutely. So first we have analyze listing tasks. So this is a huge one. Obviously, if your customers' listings are not claimed, then their customers will not be able to find them in person. They're going to be looking online. They might get the wrong address, and then they might drive all the way and then find out that it's the wrong business. Getting the right listings claimed is absolutely important. Also, in order to respond to reviews, you want to have as many relevant listings claimed as possible. So this, of course, requires reputation management in order to help pull in those prescriptive tasks, as Ryland explained.
And I'm just going to mention here too, actually, Amy. So we have a corresponding Chrome extension to go with Task Manager, and it's called Master Key. So for those of you that know or have done work like this in the past for your clients, gone in and claimed listings and even responded to reviews, which we're going to get into in a second here. If you're doing it for hundreds of different businesses and
across multiple channels,
like look at listings with errors here, just this image that we have, 47 different sites, right? You can imagine that is a lot of usernames and passwords to remember, and really annoying to have to copy and paste, like sign out of Yelp, sign back in with a different, if you have to respond to a different review. Basically, what Master Key allows you to do is keep track of all of that in Task Manager and then automatically log into each of those sites without any muss or fuss. So what I'm going to do is, and we're going to demo this in a minute here, but I'm actually going to share out the Master Keys Chrome extension just in the chat here. You can all check it out. It's free to add to Chrome. So go ahead and use that, especially if you plan on using Task Manager, and we'll show you how to use it in a second here.
Absolutely. So the next task that I'm going to get into is respond to reviews. Obviously, you know that responding to reviews helps to keep your clients' reputation in check. So responding to reviews regularly, it also helps with SEO, and it drives better engagement and keeps it, customers coming back for more, as well as the likelihood of getting them to recommend that business to their friends. So being able to respond to reviews right through Task Manager is huge. So as you can tell, you can click whether or not the review is needed to requires a response, then you can respond to it right in there. Either send the review for approval to your client, or just send it right off, publish it right to Google, right to Facebook, wherever they're wanting it to go.
That whole request, asking for feedback on the review response, that's a brand new feature that's been added into Task Manager recently, where before, if you wanted to ask for approval, it had to be completely outside the system. You had to email your client and say, hey, you got this negative review. I wrote up this response. What do you think? Is this a good way to respond to this customer who seems a little dissatisfied with your services? All the communication happened outside the platform, but now it's just a couple of clicks. Task Manager takes care of it automatically.
Saves so much time.
It's crazy.
You don't have to go in and have multiple tabs. I mean, we all have multiple tabs open, but this at least saves you a little bit of time.
And, we know this firsthand because our marketing services team uses this internally, and this is probably our biggest service. It's a game changer for them. It saves them literally hours and hours and hours of time every single week.
Exactly. Yeah, they're responding to hundreds of reviews a day, and I mean, this way they can just click a button, one of two buttons, and send it right off. So it's great.
Amazing.
Okay, next we'll go into social posts. Of course, social posting is very, very important for clients, for small businesses, digital marketing stack. And this, of course, comes through social marketing. You need to have that activated within the marketplace in order to prescriptively pull in social posts. However, once that's done, you can compose the post right in Task Manager, schedule it for a certain time. Ryland's going to demo how this is done in a little bit, but you can add your image, upload the image, and then choose which channel it goes out to, post it, and it's easy, all within Task Manager.
Absolutely.
Great. So onboarding call, of course, as you know, like getting a new client on board, you have a whole list of questions to ask them. We make it really easy in that we've generated a bunch of lists. Like we've come up with a detailed collection of questions that we like to ask our customers and our clients. And then this will prompt your fulfillment team to ask the best questions to get the best answers in order to provide the best fulfillment.
And I'll just mention here really quickly here too, Amy. So the onboarding call task only does appear when you have reputation management or social marketing activated for that particular business. So even if you decide to bring the account into to Task Manager and activate rep or social later, that task will still appear even after you've added the account. So it just activated the product. So just keep that in mind. Onboarding call, this task doesn't appear, and it is very specialized for like a reputation or a social type onboarding, but the actual task will not appear unless you have one of those two products activated.
Right. So we do have a couple of questions. Do you want to
Yeah,
take any of
yeah,
this? So we have one from Lois.
Keep them coming in, guys.
Yeah.
You know, while we're on the topic, we can just go back a slide here. So Lois has a question about Google Business Posts being added to the Composer in Task Manager. So something within social marketing that was added within the past year was the ability to post out to Google My Business. And that's a great advertising channel for a lot of businesses. It shows up right in the search results, right in the knowledge panel for that business owner. So if you guys are offering that type of service, like kudos to you. If you're not, I mean, you're missing out on a great revenue channel for your agency. Like it's an excellent way to get some excitement drummed up for any local business.
That's right.
But the actual Composer itself in within Task Manager, you'll notice here, it kind of has this old UI. We're looking at upgrading this to match our newest social marketing UI. And we've made it easy for you to actually experience that. You'll notice a little info, the tooltip at the top here says, try the new Composer, includes posting to Google My Business. All you have to do is click Open Social Marketing. It's going to bring up the exact place you need to be in the Composer window for that particular business. And you can post out to, you know, not only just Google My Business, but also Instagram, any of the other sites, news sites that we've added into social marketing, and we'll continue to grow that list of sites that you can post out to. So definitely try that out. And of course, it all gets tracked, and you know, you get that all works seamlessly with Task Manager. So yeah, give that a shot there, Lois.
Great. And then Whitney asks whether or not she missed how to create a task. We're actually going to get into that with that live demo.
Yeah, that's going to happen here in just a minute. Yeah. Here, Whitney. Perfect.
So let's get through the rest of our slides, and then we'll quickly, and then Rylan will go through a demo for you.
Yeah, another question here from Mitch. Who do we assign, or I think it's how do we assign tasks? Who do we assign tasks to? Well, whoever you want, but how do you assign tasks? We're going to get into that in a second as well.
Okay, so next we have mentions. So mentions are great. You can engage with your clients, customers when they mention your business mention that business online. So this comes through anywhere online, and you can go in and check to see whether or not an action is required, whether a response is required, or whether or not it's relevant. So these, again, prescriptively pull in through the use of RepMan.
Yeah, and you know, I have a story actually about mentions. Do you mind if I share a story?
Please do.
Okay, great. It's a good story. So we were doing business with a very particular business, and they actually were dog breeders, and they specialize in German Shepherds. And unfortunately, the owner got into a little bit of hot water with the way that they were treating their animals. And the way that they advertised, you know, was this a purebred German Shepherd, or, you know, the genealogy? I'm not a dog person myself, but I don't exactly know how it works. But there was a little bit of false advertising going on with the types of dogs that they were selling, they were adopting out. And, you know, people have feedback that comes in other forms than just online reviews.
That's right, yeah.
So people are, you know, not just going to Google to leave a review or Facebook to leave a review.
It's the online conversation.
It's a total online conversation. So what was really interesting is they were doing work through our marketing services team internally. They were paying for a service to get done through one of our partners. And they had set up this mentions feature to pull in anytime that business was just mentioned online. And there was a lot of feedback that was being brought in through websites like ripoffreport.com, unfortunately, where that was surfaced by our mentions engine here, surfaced by the marketing strategist to this particular business owner. And they were able to, you know, address that accordingly. Mentions are a little bit trickier because you can't really respond to them. You know, you can't really, you know, it's really dependent on the site that it gets pulled in from, like what you take action on that. But it really helps you give your client an overview of what the online conversation looks like.
Right. That's a great story.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay,
good.
I hope so.
I think very valuable. Okay, so next we have Socialize. So Socialize is requires obviously social marketing in order to prescriptively pull in these socialized tasks. But it's great because, as you know, I mean, customers to your client's business are going to be socializing or engaging on either their Facebook profile or Twitter feed, and they're going to either mentioning or adding or commenting on those those places. So your client is going to want to engage, or your team of fulfillment agents or marketing specialists are going to want to engage with those customers to make sure that none of the conversation is missed. Obviously, all of social marketing is just one big conversation, and you want to be able to get into every piece of it, and Task Manager really does make that easy.
Yeah, you know, my uncle owns a comic book store of all places, the best comic book store in Canada. I will say they won an award for it. But they have a lot of engagement on Facebook, and a lot of customers asking questions on their Facebook wall. Like, you know, what time are you guys open until? Or if you have a special event going on, they do a lot of these board game nights, and they do a lot of sort of trading card games and that sort of thing, have special events. So, you know, this is a great way. If you were to hire someone out using Task Manager, I mean, that all goes in check. Like, they make sure that all those types of tasks come in and that those customers are taken care of and being responded to.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, and then lastly, of course, for anything that isn't, for everything else, we like to say we have custom tasks and projects. So this way your fulfillment team can create customizable tasks and projects to either design a new website image or mocks, start a digital ads campaign, or really just keep your team up to date and in the know and on schedule.
Yes, again, this is like what we talked about earlier with, you know, if you guys are doing website creation or any sort of digital ad campaign, that can all be managed by, like, we're going to be using it internally here, Amy and I here, just to manage our own day-to-day projects and tasks that we have to complete. I mean, it's a great tool. Like, you can use, if you're used to using Trello or Asana or any of these other sort of task manager tools, you know, why not have it all in one dashboard if you're providing fulfillment for your clients too?
That's right. Okay, so now Ryland's going to get into the live demo.
I'm a little rusty, so hopefully this goes well, but yeah, let's jump right into it. So Task Manager. So here I am in Partner Center, partners.vendasta.com. The first thing that you're going to want to do before anything else with Task Manager is head over to Marketplace on the left-hand side here, go to Discover Products, and you can search for, if you're just under this all setting here, just search for Task Manager. You're just going to want to make sure it's enabled here, it's checked off. This means that it's free for most of our partners. You know, we'll indicate the price if you have a different separate contract through us, or if you have any questions, you can definitely reach out to us. The one stipulation is that if you're on our new pricing plans, a starter subscription or higher is required. Again, reach out to your business development representative or your account manager, and they're going to be able to help you out in discovering whether or not you have access to Task Manager. Most of you should. We'll just say it that way. Once you have it enabled, the next step you have a couple of different things that you can do, but my perspective really is the next step is to actually add it into some of your packages. So we're going to go into the Manage Store option here, and for this particular agency that we have set up here, they have, you know, a bunch of different packages, a couple of SEO packages, a website creation package, and a business essentials package. And you may, for any of these where you're providing your team's providing fulfillment work, you likely want to add in Task Manager. And the reason why, this will be activated when you activate the package. And it'll be automatically brought into the task management dashboard, so your agents can start fulfilling on it right away. So I have this business essentials package here, and this includes things like social marketing, reputation management, the two products we talked about that bring in those prescriptive tasks. And I've also went ahead and added in Task Manager just at the bottom here. And you can easily add a product by clicking Add Products at the top, search for Task Manager once it's enabled, boom, go ahead and save that package. Lastly, we're going to want to add our account into Task Manager. So I've already added an account into, I'm heading over to the Businesses tab here on the left-hand side, and then Accounts. I've already added in the account that I want to add. This is actually the competitor to my uncle's store in Saskatoon, 8th Street Books and Comics. Don't go there. Go to Amazing Stories instead. No, I'm kidding. They're both great places. But we're going to go ahead and activate a package, or that particular Business Essentials package for this business. So 8th Street Books and Comics, here I go. I'm going to go to Activate Products. And I have a package that I can choose to activate. If I just wanted to activate Task Manager by itself, I can head over to the Products tab here as well and search for that. But I'm going to head and activate that Business Essentials package. You notice that they currently had a few things active already in that package, but everything else here, including Task Manager, is going to go ahead and activate. So proceed to next step. We'll get a couple of order confirmation notices here. Is going to cost me a couple of bucks to activate some of these products. Boom. So that's going to head into pending here. Well, we just confirm that. And then soon it should just be automatically added to the Task Manager dashboard. So while that's activating, I want to point out a couple of different things with Task Manager. So on the left-hand side here, you notice the tasks icon, and there's an overview dashboard for managers and users. This is where you're going to go ahead and add everyone on your fulfillment team who's going to be performing tasks. I will point out that Partner Center administrators automatically have access to Task Manager. So if you're able to access this dashboard that I'm in right now, if you're able to sign into partners.vendasta.com, you can just head right over to the Overview tab and click Open Task Manager in the top right-hand corner. There's no need to create a user. But if you do have fulfillment teams who you don't necessarily want to have, people on your team who you don't want to have the ability to kind of mess around with your store and marketplace and activating products and charging your agency money, then you probably just want to set them up as a user. Really easy to do here. I set myself up as a user here, but click Create User, enter their email address, and then you just send them this URL at the top here. I'm just going to show you what this looks like really quick when I go to sign in. For the first time, new users do need to reset their password. So just send them the URL, let them know they signed in with their email, click Forgot Password, and they can put in any new password to get started. If they're using a Google account, they can simply just click sign in with Google, and we support single sign-on with that. So really easy for them to remember that password. Cool. Next, before we even bring that account into Task Manager, we're going to go ahead and set up some global settings for this particular partner. So I'm clicking Open Task Manager in the top right-hand corner. Here we are, and you notice we already have a few tasks, a couple that are actually overdue for this agency, so we should probably get to work. But we're going to pretend that we haven't really brought anything new in yet. We're just getting started with Task Manager. The first thing I really want to recommend doing is heading over to this Global Settings tab in the navigation bar. It's kind of at the top right, middle of the screen here, Global Settings. So this is where you decide as an agency what tasks you want to have automatically switched on for any new accounts that you bring in. And like Amy went through earlier, we have a number of prescriptive tasks, and this is generally what that list of prescriptive tasks is. I know some of you guys don't want to actually respond to reviews. Maybe it's not part of your package. Maybe you don't do social posting, or maybe you do 4 posts a week or 10 posts per week, or whatever it might be, and kind of like your default package. Think of it that way. What is like the default thing that you want to sell most of your customers when you bring them on board? And that can always be modified on an account-by-account basis. So we're going to get into that in a minute here. So obviously, we're going to turn on some listing tasks. We have the listings tab here. We also have the different sources, listing sources that we'll bring in tasks for. So you can uncheck a lot of these if you're not going to be claiming them. I mean, they're just going to show up in the task report if as open tasks if you're not going ahead and actually doing anything with them. But definitely the sites that you're going to be responding to reviews on the right-hand side, make sure those are checked off. But this, you can kind of manage exactly what types of sources you want to have showing up in that task report as tasks for your agents to fulfill. Mentions, so whether or not you want these on, you can kind of flip the switch in the top right-hand corner. And this will bring in the types of mentions that we track. And in the workflow notes for mentions tasks, you can also notify your agents what types of mentions to actually surface to your clients. Reviews kind of work similarly in that the same way, where you can add in your workflow notes what types of reviews you want to actually have your agents respond to, so positive, neutral, negative. You also have this reply to email, which can be set within the correspondence tab. We just move this up in the top right-hand corner. Show you here really quick. This is that feature we were talking about earlier, where if you automatically want to ask for for your clients to give feedback on a review response. Again, maybe a really negative review came in and your agents are trying to figure out the best way to respond to that review, and they want to request approval to post that review response from the actual business itself. This is automatically where that email is going to be coming from. If you leave this blank, it's just going to default to whatever your Partner Center super admin kind of email setting is set to. So, wherever your executive reports or daily digest notifications, any of that comes from your agency, that's where it will come from. But if you specifically want to set to, maybe you have a group email set up that's like fulfillment at, we'll say youragency.com, something like that. That's generally what we recommend. It's some sort of group email you have set up for your entire fulfillment team. So go ahead and save that. We're going to leave that blank for now. Social posts. So this is how often your social post tasks come in. So Task Manager will automatically bring in these tasks on either a monthly basis or a daily basis. I recommend doing daily and then just picking out which days you kind of want those tasks to populate and how many of each task you want to populate. So if you're doing kind of a standard offering is like 2 posts per week, and maybe you want your fulfillment team to kind of have those, you know, worked on like a Tuesday or a Thursday, we can do like something like this for Tuesday, Thursday, and obviously leave the weekend blank. And then we also have some workflow notes here, similar to, you know, with reviews where it's the number of days to pre-approve a post for, so your agents are in the loop with how soon they should be notifying clients about the posts that are going out. So if it's a month in advance, a week in advance, whatever it might be. I'm gonna go ahead and save this one actually, just so we have some nice new social posting tasks come through. Socialize, this is the flip of the switch in the top right-hand corner. It's whether or not your agency is actually going to be responding to those customers posting on Facebook and Twitter. You know, and not in the review sense, but in the sense that they're asking questions. Maybe they just are posting a nice comment. I will mention internally here at Marketing Services, we don't actually have, if you do get the fulfillment services done by our teams, we don't offer this service, so generally we leave it off. And the reason why is that it sometimes is a bit tricky for, you know, a fulfillment worker to respond to some customers, especially if you're a little bit disconnected from that business, either geographically or you just don't really understand the types of customers that they generally deal with. Good example would be that my uncle's comic book store, right? Like there's very specific things that are being asked by the clientele of my uncle's comic book store. Hey, do you have that issue number 1083 of Spider-Man with the variant special cover art or whatever in stock? Yeah. I mean, that's a really tricky question for someone who is a fulfillment worker to potentially answer. So depending on the type of agency you have and the type of relationship you have with your customers, you may want to leave this on or off. I'm going to leave it off in the sake of this example. We already talked about listing sources. The last bit here is due dates. So by default, how many days in advance do you want your due dates to populate for your different tasks, your prescriptive tasks that come in? And we have it defaulted to 7 days with 1 day for onboarding. But again, depending on the type of expectations you're setting with your customers, depending on the type of, you know, how many people you have working at your agency, you may want to expand these or shorten these up or tighten these up a little bit, completely up to you. But by default, this is what it's set to. So 7 days for most things and then 1 day for onboarding. Okay, so now that we've set up our global settings, we're going to go ahead and bring an account into Task Manager. So what's great is that automatically this H3 Books and Comics account that we've already activated Task Manager for in Partner Center, it's already brought in. So it's ready to go. We can start doing work for it right away. If you want to sort by the new accounts that have come through, it's sort of kind of by that here, but you can do a quick sort by accounts that are paused. So this is like we aren't pulling any new tasks in for these guys, and maybe they just brought into the account. You know, we aren't performing any actions for them. You can also sort by unassigned accounts too. So these are just accounts that haven't been really onboarded or assigned to any fulfillment worker yet. This is a quick and easy way for you to just see which new accounts have been brought through. I will mention too, you can also add accounts directly through Task Manager. So if I'm a fulfillment worker and I don't have access to Partner Center, like I showed you guys earlier, I can just add any accounts that have already been added into Partner Center into Task Manager by clicking this Add Accounts button. And what's neat is I get to see, okay, do they have active reputation management? Do they have active social marketing? If not, maybe I can notify my boss who has access to Partner Center to go in and turn on those products. So Dr. Connor McDavid here, I can go ahead and, you know, if I wanted to bring them on board, click Add. Takes a minute. It's just going to pen for a little bit. And then a few seconds later, you should see here, okay, view account. Now I can go ahead and jump right into this, jump right into this business. And you'll notice I have that onboarding call. I'm going to show you here in a different account, the one that I brought in earlier, H3 Books and Comics, what that onboarding call task looks like. When you open up the account view, there's a couple of things that you definitely want to pay attention to initially. First of all, who is this account assigned to? So you'll notice here, nobody. I'm going to assign it to myself, just so I know that this is an account that I know, and by default, majority of these tasks that come in through this account are going to be assigned to me. Definitely recommend this as a best practice. Just assign it to someone, whoever your fulfillment worker is that's generally going to be taking care of this account. Have them as the default assignee. Individual tasks can be assigned out to different people on your team, but you definitely want to have some ownership and responsibility within your organization. So just make sure that they're assigning accounts right away. You'll notice too here account status. So by default, it's going to be set to pause. And that just means that this account is currently not bringing in any new tasks from reputation management or social marketing. And this will be switched to active once we complete the onboard tasks down below here. So it makes sense, right? We don't want to actually start responding to reviews until we actually onboard the customer and get their credentials and ask them what kind of social posts they want and exactly the way they want to have it set up. But yeah, make sure it's just set to pause if you're not actually doing any work for your client, even if they cancel at a future date, or if they aren't paying their bills on time. Maybe you can just flip them to pause. Your team isn't flooding Task Manager with tasks that they're being told not to complete. There's a few other settings up here, and I'm just going to note really quick in the top right-hand corner. These can be modified too just by clicking settings, and you can go in and kind of modify additional contacts, hours of operation, competitors, just more business data, business slogan or motto, anything that might be of use to your fulfillment team. I'll also mention here the settings, the account settings is where you modify the individual types of tasks that actually show up for this particular account. So global settings are like, in general, accounts that get brought in are going to have this set of listing sources to claim, these reviews to respond to, these types of reviews to respond to, this amount of social posts that go out. But you can modify that on an account by account basis. So maybe this particular business is getting more social posts than kind of the standard. You can come in here and make those modifications if you so choose. I'm just going to back to managing. Oh, so, it went too far back. I'm going to go back to this guy. Back to the account view. The last thing I really want to point out before we get into this onboarding call is the account notes in the top right-hand corner. These are like what our internal team, like they ride or die by. Like it is absolutely imperative that our marketing strategists leave very detailed account notes. These are super easy to leave. So maybe it's like purchased the gold package, expects us to build their website in 20 days, and then due dates, whatever. Like you can definitely just like see what the possibilities are for the types of tasks that you want to leave here. Whenever you write something here, you can just click outside of the box, and you'll notice in the top right-hand corner, those notes automatically save. You can also pop these out if you say I'm working in multiple windows here. If I'm needing these account notes because I'm working in another spreadsheet or another site, or maybe I'm using a different task management software alongside this, you can pop out the account notes so that just easily another window here that you can reference for this particular customer. Okay, great. So let's get into this onboarding call task. So we're kind of running, oh no, we have a bit of time here. I feel like I've been going on and on for a while here, but we'll start with the onboarding call task. So I'm clicking into the task. For all of our tasks, you'll notice that there's task notes, public and private. These notes will show up in the monthly task report that we talked about earlier. So you want to make sure that these are nice and clean, easily read by the audience really is your customer. So make sure that your fulfillment team does a great job with these. Private task notes are very similar to the private account notes. These are just for the individual tasks. These are only surfaced to other people on your fulfillment team. So if you want to say, hey, client was particular about how we respond to reviews, getting back to us before completing the onboard call. So if anything, maybe this task, it's not, maybe the onboarding isn't quite yet completed on the initial call that you have with this business. You can leave the account notes here, or the task notes here on what you kind of talked about in the onboarding, so that the next person that picks this back off will know exactly what's going on. And you'll notice here at the top here, task status. If you are working on a task, it's always the best practice to start switching it to in progress. You'll notice that a timer starts in the right-hand corner to just showcase how much time was spent on a particular task. This goes back to, it stops when you switch it back to open. You'll notice here that it stopped at 9 seconds. If, however, you are waiting on a customer, like I am in this kind of scenario here, you're going to want to make sure that you set to waiting on customer. That's going to, again, show up in the task report as tasks that we're waiting on this particular customer to accomplish. Maybe they need to get us back credentials. Maybe they need to, talk to someone at their organization about the types of social posts that they want, whatever it might be. Leave notes here, public task notes here, so the waiting on customer tasks show up in the task report, and that particular business owner knows kind of what's going on with that task. So as you scroll down, there's a number of different things that you can kind of do to fill out, to complete. We have a number of different fields to these are kind of optional. It's up to you guys how you want to go about completing your onboard calls, but we've set these out in a way that our marketing strategists really seem to like. So definitely take a look at them. I won't go through all of them here, with the exception of visibility tasks. So I mentioned earlier about the importance of, or how tricky it can be sometimes to respond to a number of different reviews for a number of different businesses on a number of different sites, or to have, just going ahead and claiming storing these different credentials for these different sites for a particular business. Like the example we had earlier, 47 different sites or something that we could potentially claim. You definitely want to add in the credentials for any of those sites as soon as you get them. And this is right within the onboarding call task. So if they're sending them your way, just open this up in a new tab here. You notice it's really easy to kind of jump in and, this particular business doesn't have any yet. I'm going to go into another example. Bear with me. We're going to jump back into that onboarding call task for this particular business. Sorry, guys, one moment. I believe it's completed. There we go. So here we are back again. We have this visibility task here, add credentials, opening this up in a new tab. And you notice I can go ahead and add in my credentials here. So Judy's book, for whatever reason, if you are claiming Judy's book, you can add in the username and password for that particular business, and it gets saved into Task Manager. So this is where the magic with the master key Chrome extension comes into play. So I already have this installed from that link that I sent y'all here from the Chrome store. Any credentials that you store, like we have a local stack stored in here, Yelp stored in, anything that you store, anytime you need to complete a task for that particular site. So I'm gonna go back, this is kind of jumping a little over the place here, but we're gonna go to this respond to review task. Say I need to respond to this review for this particular business here on Yelp. The beauty with master key is you'll see a little pop-up on the right-hand corner, which gives you those credentials. And this is only if you have master key installed, bear in mind. When you click sign in, it's going to automatically go ahead and sign you into that site. And I don't have it set up for this particular business here, so we're not going to go ahead and sign in, but it would actually populate the username, the email address, and password, so you can go in and respond to that particular review, which is a huge, huge time saver. So definitely, if you're responding to reviews for a bunch of different sites, great way to do that is installing master key, storing those credentials, and then signing in that way. So I'm going to jump back to this business here who, I'm going to go back to accounts here, this History Books and Comics business. We're going to pretend that we went ahead and we just started responding to, or sorry, we completed the onboarding call with this particular business. So we've gotten whatever we needed back for them. We left, good detailed account notes. Now we're going to go ahead and mark this as completed. When you complete an onboarding call task, the account status, I'm just going to refresh the page here, will automatically be set to active. So it's go time. It's ready. You're going to see Task Manager automatically pulling these tasks that we've set up for this particular business. And over time, your agents can start performing these tasks. However, it takes a little while for that to happen. And if there's things that you need to accomplish right away, this is where the beauty of custom tasks is going to come into play. So I'm going to go click Add Custom Task. Maybe I just want to claim Yelp for this particular business really quickly. And I'm going to assign myself. I can leave a description there. And maybe I already went ahead and did it, just because I'm a cool guy and I've already marked it as completed. I can set it as recurring if I want. Maybe it's I have to report back on their website stats every single week, or whatever it might be. If it's a recurring task, you can have that pop up. Again, same sort of public, private notes. Go ahead and click save. And this is going to show up under my completed task there. There's that custom task that I've completed. And that's going to show up in my task report. So any sort of custom tasks, again, anything that you do for this company, it's all tracked, for this business, is all tracked and serviced back to them in that automated task report. So the last thing I will talk about maybe is, I can go through mentions and social posts. I'm going to ask if you do want me to go through any of that, let me know here. But the last thing I'm going to show you before I open it up for questions here is those monthly reports. So those take a little bit of configuring too before you get started. So I'm clicking the reports tab here for this particular business. Here you can go ahead and edit the email recipients. You want to make sure you add in that particular business. Anyone at the business, you can add as many recipients as you want, which is great. You can edit the email template that gets sent out. So a little bit of a description here that we have by default. Kind of have a locked in subject, email subject here. So you'll see what that looks like. It'll be like the year, monthly task report for the business's name. And you can also see the history here over time. But if you do need to pull this report at any time, very simple. You just click view report. Oh, sorry. I will mention if you're sending the monthly task report by email, you want to double check this box here just so it gets sent out. I'll leave it on check for now. But view report, here we go. Here's what it looks like for that business. Not a lot done for this particular business, but I'll show you one that that should have a couple things done. Let me just bring one up here really, really quick. Maybe not, but you can kind of get the idea. It's for Blair's Restaurant. So here's a few tasks completed for this guy. So you'll notice we have in progress, a task, waiting on customer tasks, and then the stuff that we completed within the past month. This is a dynamic link too. So it's not just a static report. It can be, your client can engage with it and choose which months they want to view which tasks were completed. And it seems like it's a fairly new account, so we've only done a few things in January for them. And they can also view the all-time report too, so they can get a complete summary of all the good work that you've been doing for this particular business. If you do want to just trigger this out, again, if they're reaching out to you, it's like, hey, what's going on? What have you guys been doing for my business? Click send report. This is where it's going to be sent to. Send and done. So I will mention here, there's a couple of different views to kind of go through in the navigation. From a bird's eye perspective, if you click on, when you first log into Task Manager, you're going to see all the tasks that are available open for your particular agency, all sorted by due date. So you notice here we have a lot of overdue tasks for this particular company. And it's all kind of a mishmash. Like we only have, I guess Blair's Restaurant was the big one where we didn't really complete a lot of work for, but you'll notice just a bunch of different businesses populating here. Whatever the task that's due the soonest is going to show up at the top. You can sort by the different task types, reviews, task statuses, ones that are assigned to a particular person. So here's all the stuff that's assigned to me right now. Looks like I've been pretty good and I've completed most of my tasks here, which is great. So great little bird's eye perspective. And if I'm, marketing strategist, if I want to know like what I have to do on a regular basis when I first come into work, great way to do that is just to sort by the tasks that are assigned to you from the task dashboard here. So that's a quick little overview of onboarding a client, bringing it into Task Manager. I'm going to open it up to questions here, and we have quite a few, but feel free to, if you want me to show you anything more, I can definitely do that. But I just want to make sure we have some time for questions here. So, John Weber asks, is there an integration to the executive report? Great question, actually. Is there a way to set custom tasks or shows started, on hold, etc.? So hopefully I answered part 2 to your question there, John, already. So the answer is yes. You can create custom tasks and you can show tasks that are pending, or is the term that we use, pending, waiting on customer, and completed are kind of the 3 big ones. But to answer your first part of your question, Amy, do you want an executive report?
Yeah, so an integration to executive report, that's actually something that is in the pipe. And then I actually know for a fact that there are 2 of our UX people working on that this afternoon to figure out a way to,
This afternoon?
like literally, well, when I saw that come through, I sent a message to the UX person who works with the executive report and said like this, like people are interested, this is happening. So she said that they're going to start talking, or they have been talking about it, but they're actually going to be working on that this afternoon.
That's so exciting.
Hopefully it's in like the near future, but I know it's definitely in the pipeline. So.
And for those of you that don't know, the executive report is it's a monthly report that gets sent out, or weekly, you can choose. But it shows the proof of performance of all the different products and services that you have activated for that business. Majority of, I should say the majority, a handful of products in our marketplace are integrated with the executive report. So
it's a great feature. If you haven't viewed the executive report, if you haven't switched over, please go into your account and take a look at that, because it's definitely,
we've made some really
we've put a lot of work into it in the last a month, 6 weeks or so. It was just launched in the last couple of weeks, so it's really, really exciting, and our business center team is fantastic. So please take a look.
I'm gonna send you all a link here to get more information on that.
Yeah, there's a great little video that you can watch.
Totally.
To go into detail about that.
The different types of reporting that we bring to your client, and this is all kind of what's great about it is that it reports on only the stuff that you guys sell. So it's really customizable in that sense. So I'm just going to bring this up here really quick and drop it in the chat. Keep the questions coming, guys. So Mitch asks here, how frequently will customers be notified to pre-approve posts? Weekly reminder, that is entirely up to you and your agency. So you can set how far in advance your agents will or should, I should say. It's like a workflow note. So it's like notifying your agents to go ahead and do this. The way we do it is we usually do a monthly calendar and a content call, and that I believe goes out the week before the beginning of the month. So entirely up to you. If you're interested in best practices for that niche, definitely reach out to your account manager or Success on Demand, and they can definitely hook you up and give you some good tidbits for that.
Just want to add to that. I mean, one of the great things about Task Manager and the teams that have developed it, as well as, we have an internal fulfillment team. So we know firsthand that every single customer is so different and their requirements are different. So we have worked in those customizable features, because we know just how important it is to customize business to business rather than sticking everyone in the same box.
Totally.
Doesn't quite work that way. So.
Totally.
Yeah.
And if you have feedback too, let us know.
Of course. Please. Yeah.
Feedback.vendasta.com. Mitch also asks, did I skip someone? Oh, I did. Malcolm. Okay. Yeah. Can you use Task Manager for clients that want us to manage their generate reviews function in customer voice? You can use Task Manager for anything. Absolutely. We actually provide that as a service here in Marketing Services, and we use Task Manager. It's called Review Requests as a service, and we use Task Manager to manage all that. It just needs to be a custom project or a custom task. So you just set that up. You can set it as a weekly kind of recurring reminder if you want. It's 100% custom though. And what's neat about that too is you have the ability to jump right. I think that account that I brought in, where was it? A Street Books and Comments, it did activate customer voice for them. So you can jump right into that product. Your team can easily jump into customer voice and use the request reviews functionality of that.
That's right.
So Mitch, to answer your question here, is it possible to assign specific tasks to different agency staff? I hope I answered that earlier.
I think so, yeah. But...
So just a quick little review. When an account comes in, set the assignee. Once it's set, all the tasks will be assigned to that particular assignee for that particular account. But the individual tasks, I'm going to go to one that maybe has some more open tasks here. These can be set, maybe I want to ding this guy, L Hales. You're going to get all these tasks here. Or maybe not. This guy's probably not.
I'm just going to jump in and say that there might be one agent who's overseeing that entire account, but they might be on vacation. And so those tasks that are going to come through are then going to be assigned to someone else. And so you want to make sure that a strategist or agent or whatever your fulfillment team might need to do. So
exactly. We do that all the time too. We assign tasks, bring them to different people, just to make sure that there's some accountability, some responsibility there. Samira, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name. Is that Samira?
I think so, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong there, Samira, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. My company is using the Sales and Partners portal. Do you recommend this for us too? I mean, that depends. Do you have a fulfillment staff internally? If you do, then absolutely. Even if you don't, I'd say yes. I mean, if you are providing any sort of fulfillment work, looks like I did see pronounce your name right. Great. Thank you, Samira. Even if you're providing any sort of fulfillment work, and the people at your company are providing the fulfillment work to your clients, then definitely check out Task Manager.
That's right.
If you want us to do that work, that's a different conversation. Like if you want Vendasta's marketing services team to perform that work on your behalf under your agency's brand, we're actually going to use your Task Manager dashboard. We're just your staff essentially at that point. Right. We log into your Task Manager dashboard and complete the tasks and do all that
on behalf of your business. So.
Exactly. So it really depends, Samira, on if you want to do the fulfillment yourself at your agency for your clients, or if you want to have Vendasta do that work for you. Rob here asks, would like to create project templates with custom tasks. Any chance of that? I mean, yeah, totally a chance, because I believe that's next on the docket here is custom project templates. So good question there, Rob. We're working on, right now you do have the ability to create a template for a social project, posting project, but not for a custom project quite yet. But that is literally...
That's like, it's coming up. It is almost, I believe it's actually almost complete, or it's in progress already. It's not even in the pipeline. It is, they are already building it and working on it. The development team that is associated with Task Manager, I should say they,
Not me. I'm not working on it. No, I don't know the first thing about it.
About coding, I'm not. However, they're a fantastic team, and we're in close contact with them. So we do have that information
every single day.
So always these types of questions and feedback are always welcome.
Yes, and if you have feedback further there, Rob, feedback.vendasta.com is a great place to leave that. Just to add some more color to that comment too, we do one of our largest partners that we've recently partnered with, who will remain nameless on this webinar here. This is a key feature for them. So it's like 100%, like we have to build it. It's like something that people are asking for. So project templates for custom projects, definitely coming here. Awesome, thanks, Rob. So we have a few, we have quite a few more questions here. Okay, let's get through these. Mitchell Slater, oh my God, I can't believe it's Mitchell and I go way back.
Oh,
whatever. He's one of the partners that signs. So great to see you here, Mitchell. Do clients have to have reputation management and social marketing turned on for us to be able to manage their account and Task Manager? No.
But if you want these tasks to prescriptively pull in, then absolutely.
Yes, especially that onboarding task too. That doesn't just appear if you don't have social marketing or reputation management active for the account, but you can use it for anything else. So you can use it for custom projects, you can use it for custom tasks. We have a number of accounts that we manage that don't have social or rep activated, and it's perfectly fine. Great. So Renee here has a question. Do you know if your client wants to start mid-month, is the cost prorated? I believe this is just a question for just in general, like when you're activating products for a business. It depends on it doesn't depend. So the way it works here, Renee, is like a Netflix subscription. So the products in our marketplace that are month to month, for the most part, when you activate them, you'll get charged right away, or you'll be invoiced depending on the plan you're on with us, but you have access to it immediately. When you go to cancel that product, it will cancel on the same day of the month that it'll remain active until the same day of that month for that month to complete. So say you activate a product on January 20th, reputation management will say you activate that on January 20th, you're going to be charged $15 for that account right away. And then your client cancels on February 15th. When you go to deactivate reputation management on February 15th, it will remain active until February 20th. So you have until February 20th to activate and use that product. So hopefully that answers your question. It's not proration, but it basically it's the same billing cycle as any sort of subscription service, like Netflix is the best sort of one that comes to mind.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you still get that full month that you paid for. Our
mentions part of review management.
Oh, sorry, what do you see that here?
Just above. Are mentions a part of review management, or is that an additional service?
That is part of,
that's part of reputation management, yeah.
Yeah, there might be two questions here that we need to answer. So, Renee, for the first part here, mentions are built into reputation management, and you can set them up. I can actually just jump into reputation management for this particular account, and it's really easy to set up. Basically, you go in, and this is maybe something that your client wants to have done. So I'm going to go to the monitor mentions. We're not doing any mentions for this guy, so we'll get started. Add keyword search. In this particular business is Blair's Restaurant. So the keyword literally is probably Blair's Restaurant. Anytime Blair's Restaurant is mentioned online. And these kind of take a little bit of finessing. Like you want to make sure that you're pulling in the right keywords, and there's probably a number of Blair's Restaurants out there. Yeah. So we want to make sure it's the right business that we're putting in the mention there for. But now that this is set up, anytime that Blair's Restaurant gets mentioned online, that'll be pulled into Task Manager for your agents to surface back to that business owner. In your question, though, the way you phrase it is it part of your review management service? That could refer to our marketing services. And we have a service that we can respond to your clients' reviews on their behalf, on your behalf, I should say.
And perform and work with mentions.
Exactly,
too. Yeah.
Exactly.
So if you are referring to the marketing services, yes, I do believe that it is a part of that. And then if you're not, if not, then I guess it would just depend on your offering and what it is that your packages that you're selling. So customizable for sure. If you do feel like your clients want mentions, then yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. If you're using marketing services there, Renee, and you have questions about us doing mentions, reach out to your partner success manager, Success on Demand. They can help you answer that question. It really depends on the offering that you have. Whitney has a question here. Can a user be locked down to one customer or certain customers? Not necessarily. They can be assigned specific tasks and accounts, but they cannot be their view is only specific customers. We don't quite have that as a feature. If that is something that you feel is an important feature for us to look into, again, feedback.vendasa.com is the place to go there, Whitney, and you can let us know, and we'll surface that to the appropriate product manager to look into. So hopefully that answers your question there. Tanya here has a question. If you're doing the social posting for us, should we fill out the onboarding or should we leave that to you? Leave it to us.
Yeah, leave it to us. I know that sometimes the marketing services, they'll send it to partners in advance for them to look it over. But yeah, absolutely. Leave it to us. We'll do the onboarding for you. And there you go.
Perfect.
Again, it kind of depends on your offering.
Exactly. So Christy here has a question or a comment on, she just says, please show us how to do a social post. Gladly here, Christy. I don't really have a social account connected for these particular businesses, but I'm going to show you here just where you would go to do that. So I hope I have a social task set up.
You would need to have the credentials for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, any social channel in order to do the social posts. So that's,
yeah, so I do have a social post task open here. So when you come into the social post task, of course, you're going to have, like all of our tasks, the account notes at the top here, as we'll say, we may have some better accounts here. So likes social posts about cats. There we go. Very creative. Of course, you're going to add a little bit more color to that. But like any task, you come in here, you have your task notes. These appear in the monthly report. So you might want to add in like a reason about the type of post that you decided to go with, or like a conversation that you had about the post that's going to go out for this particular business, whatever sort of thing you want to have show up on the task report. The post itself actually does show up on the report, so you don't need to like copy and paste the post into the task notes. And this is more so just sort of like a side note about the type of post that went out. Again, private notes, we talked about that earlier. Again, serviceable to your teams internally. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. The first is just using the default composer here. So I'm just going to say we have one profile connected for this particular business, Dr. Connor McDavid, and its Google Plus account, which unfortunately is going away here April 7th. Very soon. But, you know, for old time's sake, maybe we'll just go ahead and use it. Come get your teeth cleaned. You get a preview of all the different accounts that are connected down below here. If you're going to upload an image, you'll see what that looks like as well. You have a link shortener built into here. Very, very straightforward social composer. Schedule is the key piece to this all too. So you can choose exactly when this post goes out. This is in the time zone you are currently in. So just keep that in mind if you're posting for people overseas or in a different time zone than you are. Well, you know, maybe why don't we schedule this out as a surprise for someone, like, no, I'm just kidding. Right. You can really like go far in advance if you want. It's going to be defaulting to approximately 5 minutes in advance too. So if you want to have something go a little bit more than 3 minutes there as well. So you can schedule it out that way. The alternative way to do a social post is directly through social marketing. So I don't know if this is going to work 100% right now, just because we are in kind of a demo environment, but oh yeah, great. So we're in the social marketing composer here. So this is going to be really, really good if you want to post out to any of those new sites that we were talking about earlier. So Instagram, Google My Business, you can connect those accounts here, and you can use the brand new social marketing composer to post that out. You'll notice that it's, you know, a lot more advanced looking here. You can add in media, RSS feed from interesting content that you're pulling in, coupons. We have an emoji picker here, which is great here, frequently used. I guess people are posting a lot of flags. And it can upload video as well, which is great too to Facebook. So there's some really good functionality within the new composer. And then same way, you just click post now, and then that'll appear in the task report. Cool, cool. So hopefully that answers your question there, Christy. Let me know if I can show you more on the social composer. Mitchell has a question here. Can both marketing services and my team work on the same account at the same time with Task Manager? Yeah, it's absolutely. It's really cool. We are only going to perform the services that you order through Marketplace. We're going to use Task Manager to manage those services, but we actually have a number of our larger enterprise customers that we do this exact same thing.
Agencies. I work with some agency partners that have done that as well. So absolutely, whatever you need and whatever you feel like is the best direction, then we're flexible. Yeah, totally. And Mitchell, if you are getting marketing services done through our teams internally, definitely just jump into the Task Manager dashboard and see. You can kind of spy on the work that's being done and see what's in progress and that sort of thing, and how we're all the account notes. Is really cool to see that work in action. Yeah, that's right. Christy has a question here. The pricing is charged to, I think it's the pricing charges to the Vendasta account for the products, but how do you price the resale value? Has anyone assessed with that type of reselling that option? Christy, I'm not entirely sure exactly what we were referring to, but I suppose you could be referring to setting like profitable margins for your agency using some of our resellable products and services. I can get into that if you so wish. Just let me maybe clarify that question for me, and I'll get back to you, okay? So I'm not entirely sure what you're referring to when it comes to this, Christy. Sorry about that. John here has a question. Is there a ticketing system that we can use for ad hoc requests we get from customers? We actually, not really a ticketing system, but we do that internally quite a bit with a couple of our enterprise partners who have ad hoc requests. We just use the custom task system. So you can use custom tasks, custom projects, very easy, quick and easy to just ad hoc, jump in here, add a custom task, bada bing, bada boom, you're done. So that's how we do it internally. Not quite a ticketing system like, say, Zendesk or something, but you know, it definitely gets the job done.
So there are quite a few questions here left. You know, the webinar, you know, we're kind of coming to the end of the webinar here. We're about 10 minutes over, guys, but I'm going to continue to answer these questions. If you want to hop off, by all means, but you know, it's been great. There's been a lot of participation and engagement with this webinar. We have 18 open questions still, which is great.
Awesome.
So
I mean, also too, if you do need to step away, we can also put up, I'm happy to put up my email address if you have any questions. I would love to respond to them if you do need to step away. I mean, we do know how busy you all are, so we're here to assist you and make this as easy as possible.
Right, so I'm just throwing it in the chat here, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. So there's my email address. Please feel free, Rylan as well, please feel free to email either of us. Like we said, we work very closely with these teams that are developing it, and we're also, we do understand what's coming down the pipeline too.
Right, yeah, so if you do need to step away, we can answer just via email as well.
Yeah.
So next question here from Mitchell. Is there anything coming down the pipeline where we can have a spot to collaborate with our clients on tasks where they can log in and post things that they would like done or checked on? Oh my goodness. What's great is that we actually already have this. And also they're able to log in to see pending things that we are working on. So we have developed the ability, Mitchell, to do something like this with social marketing. It's not quite 100% released yet, but you will see some announcements coming in the coming weeks here where all within either a calendar view or an individual post view, you're able to showcase to your client all the work that, or all the posts that your team is going to come up with.
Yeah.
And then your customers, once you send it to them for approval, will have the ability to either approve the posts, decline them, or leave feedback.
Yeah, that's right. Very, very exciting. We're all, I mean, I think a lot of us at Vendasta are really looking forward to seeing how this unfolds and anticipating a lot of our partners using this.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be using it.
Yeah, we're going to be using it, like, especially our fulfillment team. They're
clamoring.
Yeah, I think they're first in line.
Oh my God, they're like clawing against the wall.
Yes,
like just like,
this is a much needed.
We need this. So just keep an eye out in our release announcements there, Mitchell. How long until the new social post tool will be integrated with tasks without the pop-out window? That's a good question, Jeff. I don't have an answer to that question. As far as I know, we're actually going into the pop-out window more in that direction with more of our products. So you're more or less popping out the right place in the product so that we can integrate more products directly into Task Manager. But if you have feedback about that, definitely, again, feedback.vendasta.com. If your team uses it, definitely leave some feedback there. Chrissy asks, is there a training mode that I can teach my team without being charged the individual fees for marketplace options? I would like to, show them how to do the social posts and reports on my team. Chrissy, there isn't really, unfortunately, but we can hook you up. We'll help you out 100%. Success on Demand, reach out to them. We're gonna, I'll follow up with you after the call here too. Reach out to Success on Demand and we can set you up with something so that you can train your team. We want to make sure that your team can use this properly and that they're comfortable using it. More than anything, I don't care about charging you 15 or collecting money for $15 for a social marketing account. That is irrelevant to us. What's important is that your team knows how to use it. So reach out to Success on Demand and we'll get something hooked up to you, for you there, Christy. William asks here, when you activate Task Manager in a package, does the client have access to Task Manager on a DIY basis? What does the client see when Task Manager is activated? That's a great question. The answer is no, they do not, thankfully. Yeah. They will still have access to the individual products, like say reputation management and social marketing, if you're activating those products, and they can use them the same way that you would use them.
Right, but it's visible to whoever's doing the fulfillment.
It's only visible to those doing the fulfillment. So I'm going to go into a Business Center account that has Task Manager active. Oh, let me just see here. I'm just going to, this guy does. Perfect. So let's go in. So I'm just impersonating it and seeing what the business owner sees here when they log in. So I'm going to go to my products on the left-hand side, and you'll notice that Task Manager does not appear, despite the fact that it is active for this particular account. So really, you notice here, so here's the active products. Task Manager is active on the account, but it's not showing up in the products for the business owner.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Cool. Renee asked, do you know when this video will be available to be watched again?
I'm going to say probably sometime tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like a YouTube winner says, but like, subscribe to our channel, Vendasta, or youtube.com/Vendasta. You'll get notified whenever we post webinars.
But typically webinars are usually posted the following day. So our webinars are on Thursdays, and then we usually post them to our YouTube channel on Friday, assuming no technical difficulties. So
awesome. Jeff here asks, any future plans for a custom URL to Task Manager? No plans quite yet, but I will let you know here, Jeff. You may have noticed in the demo earlier that the current URL is concierge. I don't want to use the C word.
Yeah, no longer concierge. Goodbye. But
goodbye. We're changing this to task-manager.biz. So if you hopefully that's okay for your business for now. But if you do want to have a custom URL, if you feel like that's something our team should investigate, definitely leave your feedback at feedback.vendasta.com. And I'd love to investigate that with our product manager, David Sibley. Whitney asks here, can we add tasks in Task Manager that is not product related, like monthly temp check call or quarterly sales call for customers? You know, I almost have a better recommendation for those sorts of tasks. So the tasks that you're recommending there, Whitney, are more sales related.
Sales and Success Center, I think, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what's great is if you are using our sales CRM, Sales and Success Center, we recently released a feature for salespeople to leave tasks as well. So I'm going to impersonate here Jim Norton. They were for not media, I guess here. But there's a task view on the left-hand side where when you're managing, sorry, I should have clicked on accounts here first. If you're a salesperson and you want to set up like a monthly check-in call or a 60, 90 day, 30, 60, 90 day kind of check-in for an account you've just sold, within the actual account itself, you can add in tasks. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. So I'm going to do a 30-day check-in. Maybe this is after you've closed a deal and you've marked them as closed one and closed the opportunity. Due date, we'll do a month from now. Save. And these appear just as a list view here, and you have pending completed. It's very, very straightforward, very simple, Trello-like in quality, I like to say. 60-day check-in is my next check-in point, maybe with this customer. And we're going to do April 7th here, or maybe Monday. Cool. So as I complete tasks or add in tasks here, pending tasks for all the different accounts that I'm working on as a salesperson, I can head over then to my overall task view on the left-hand side, and these will all show up chronologically sorted by due date. I can sort by the ones that are in progress. I can filter by different salespeople on my team. Quick way and easy way to see what needs to get done as a salesperson on a regular basis. So if you have more questions about that, again, reach out to Success on Demand. Not exactly the same as Task Manager Fulfillment, what we've been on about this webinar today, but a great feature to check out nonetheless.
Okay.
So Timothy has a question here. Things like the social reviews are clients, my apologies, Timothy. Things like the social reviews, our clients can use the Task Manager to see things they can do in addition to services I supply, correct? Yeah, absolutely. So the way that Task Manager works is your clients don't have access to Task Manager, just your team. but your clients can see the work that's being done through those automated task reports. And those can, again, be pulled at any time. Your clients can reference them at any time too. They can just jump into the URL in their email inbox or whatever and see all the work that's been done for them, which is great. They can also go into Business Center, kind of how we demoed earlier. If they have access to a Business Center account, they can use any of the products that you're giving them access to through Business Center. So we see a lot of partners, they'll set up a cool relationship with their business owner customers where maybe the business owner just wants to respond to their reviews because maybe they like to respond to reviews a very particular way, and they want to keep that for them to do. So they can use reputation management in Business Center, log in and respond to all the reviews kind of in one spot and manage them all from one area. But maybe they get you to help them with their social posting, and they'll see social marketing as an active product here. We don't have that activated for this particular account here, but maybe that's the only feature that you're bringing in, or the only task that you're bringing in for that particular customer. So that can all be configured at the account level within Task Manager, and you can show them. You can work with your client. We like to call it "Do It With Me." There's DIY, do it yourself, which is what the business owner does if they just want to log in and do everything themselves. Do it for me if you're doing all the work for that client. But if you're having it's sort of a relationship, and you're picking and choosing what the business owner does versus what you do. Do it with me is the term that we like to use for that. Hopefully that answers your question there, Timothy. I was a little confused by it, but I think did I do a good job?
Yeah.
Okay. I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Renee's got it. Congrats, Renee. Good luck with that. She says that she's onboarding her first client with Vendasta in the next few days. So that's
my God, that's super exciting. Awesome. And I'm glad you like the presentation. Yeah. I mean,
good luck, and
I practiced so hard.
You did. And then of course, if you need any more, please watch the video once we have it uploaded. Watch for it on the YouTube channel, and then if you do need to go back and get a refresher on what to do in certain areas, then please do that. And if you need some more information, reach out to one of us or feedback at vendasta.com, and we'll set you right. We're here to help you.
Absolutely. Good luck with that, Renee. So Josh actually is responding to a question earlier that Whitney had asked, which was about restricting specific users to specific accounts. And he's commenting or asking, he's like, wouldn't, if you had separate markets set up, would that allow you to restrict users to specific client accounts? And the answer is yes, you can do it that way. Markets are part of our enterprise subscription tier. So if you're interested in getting markets set up, again, reach out to your business development representative. Really, for those enterprise customers, though, I'd hate to see us have to give you markets as the reason why. I should say, if that's the only reason why you want markets, it might be a little bit complicated to use, and it adds kind of a layer of complication to our software that. If it's all you're trying to do is separate out specific tasks for users to complete, I would much prefer it if you just left feedback for us and we'd investigate that for you. But that is possible there, Josh. Thanks for bringing that up. So a comment from just Christy here is kind of confirming our suspicions earlier. She's asking about how to price for profit for your company. And Christy, that's a very expansive question. There's a lot of different ways you can do that. My best suggestion is to reach out to Success on Demand, and they can kind of walk you through our pricing guide, some of our suggested retail packages that we have within Vendasta here. I'm just going to load up our marketplace really quick. We also have a package constructor and calculator where you can go in, drop in all the different products that you're interested in selling or different packages you're interested in building, and see what your profit margins are. You can factor in like the cost of a salesperson, if you want to pay them commission, that sort of thing. I'm not going to get into that in this webinar, but I will point out you can head over to Manage Store, Recommended Packages, and explore some of our recommended packages that these are just pre-built out. You can kind of like modify these, add them to your store, change them as possible. We already have like a bunch of sales and marketing content built into them. So they're a quick and easy way to get started. And these are all profitable for you as well. So definitely check these out. What I would recommend doing though is reaching out to Success on Demand, reaching out to our support team, and getting them to walk you through the package constructor and building some profitable packages for your agency.
That's right.
Timothy asks here, there we go. Do you want to go for it? Sure.
Give you a break. Can the client see the custom tasks so we could work on them jointly? So like we said with Task Manager, your customers cannot actually see within Task Manager. However, they see what has been worked on through the reporting. Is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, no, that's essentially it. It's like your clients can't really work on them with you, I guess I should say. I guess it depends on what the tasks are. Like, if maybe you're setting up a custom task for something that involves Website Pro, which is our WordPress hosting solution. And Website Pro is accessible you can actually set it up so it's accessible by the business owner as well. So any of the products that you have active for the account, like those can be accessed by your clients. Website Pro, they can log in, use Website Pro, and build out the website themselves if they want, and work on that with you, with your team. The custom task piece is just really a place for you to remind your team to complete those tasks and to report back to the business owner that you're working on them.
And really collaborate with your team. So
yeah,
your
exactly.
team can collaborate on a custom project or task, I guess. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's more, you have to set up a project, have 5 or 6 people building that. That's a pretty crazy website with 5 or 6 people working on it, but maybe it is.
You never know. And really, it depends on, as some people might be working remotely, it's a really good way to keep everyone in the loop.
Totally.
So that's its main functionality. Hopefully that gave you a clear answer.
Tim has another question here. I had to take a call. Did I miss why the task manager is not in the client portal? Yes. So essentially, there, Tim, task manager is a place for your clients to go in and for your fulfillment team. Yeah. Maybe I'm getting confused. To log in. Looks like you're all caught up with that. It doesn't appear in Business Center. We should just, that's the short end of that question.
Yeah.
Great. Glad we answered that for you, Tim. And then, oh my God, is this a lot? Oh no, there's a few more here.
I think this is.
2 more questions. Okay. 2 more questions here.
Okay, perfect.
So Tara here has a question about sales and success, the sales and success section that I just went over, the task section of that. Is there a way to change the automatic date that is entered when I want to log a call or meeting, but it happened before the day you're actually logging it? I forgot to log it on the day that it happened, but I still wanted to add it and use it to follow up as a reminder. Yes, you can definitely do that. Let me just jump in here. It won't be logged for that specific date, unfortunately. So you can kind of go in and set it. You can still log it, but it just will be logged to the date that you put it in, right? So I'm going to go to this account here really quick, and we're going to log a call. Maybe so the one that you said, I forgot to log it. You did a call, so we'll say you had an outbound call. Went great. There we go. Connected with a customer. Follow up required, and the task we're going to say is call back in 3 days. Boom. And we'll say that maybe I did this yesterday on February 6th, and I'm putting callback in 3 days. You can still set the date so that it's actually like 3 days in advance. So instead of like, if you want to do it like Friday, say, you can still set it for that, and it's going to show up as something a task that you need to complete here on that specific day. You just can't really change the time and date that the log was actually like the sales record and sales activity was actually put into the account. I don't know if that answers your question there, Tara, but hopefully you can kind of play around with it a little bit and, set the reminders to whenever the specific day is that you need those reminders done. Okay, great.
Okay.
One more question here. Is there an API for this to create tasks/manage? You can definitely check that out. I'm not aware of something with Task Manager our developer documentation hasn't yet been 100% updated. So just when you go to developers.vendasta, or sorry, wrong URL, vendasta.com/developers, I believe is what it is. You can look at our documentation under Vendasta Partners. And if you go to Partner Center, oh no, we are looking for partner APIs. This is what I got here. No, I don't believe there's anything for, just look, you can poke around. I'm going to send you the link here. Sorry, who has it called? John. I'm sending you the link here, John. You can take a look at our Partners Central documentation. You have the ability to activate accounts or bring accounts in over API into Partner Center. And I believe you also have the ability to activate, if you're on our new V3 SSO, you have the ability to activate marketplace products over API as well. And one of them being, of course, Task Manager. So you have the ability to activate an account over API, and then also activate a SSO, or activate a Task Manager. What I'm going to do is send you this documentation, and I'm going to get you to get connected with Success on Demand. So I'm going to follow up with you after the call here, or after the webinar, and hopefully get you in contact with someone who can better answer those questions for you. I'm not 100% knowledgeable in this space, so I'm not the best person to talk to, but let me just send you the information here. We'll go back to this URL. You can play around with it. Okay, great. I think that is all we got today. Oh my God.
I know, that was pretty great.
That was a marathon. That was great.
Good job, Rylan.
Thank you. You too, Amy. Great.
Good job, partners. Thank you so much for all of those fantastic questions.
Appreciate that.
And yeah, please, if you didn't have anything to say, but something comes to you later on, please feel free to email us. We're always happy to answer questions and to help people out or direct you in the right direction. So sometimes it might be Success on Demand that's going to give you the best answer, but you know, we're here to help out.
And thank you for everyone who stayed right into the bitter end
here.
It looks like there's a lot of people on board.
Yeah, there's still like 30 people at one point that were waiting to hear all of our questions. So that's pretty awesome. Amazing. Yeah, that's great.
Again, reach out to Success on Demand if you have any more questions. And yeah, we'll hope to hear from you soon.
Yeah, great. Thanks so much, everyone.
Take care.